So recently I saw this tweet by David J. Phillips. Apparently he's a founder, CEO of this company serving 1,000 founders. So I'm going to bet that he knows a bit about building applications and services. So here's a tweet. It says, big companies, they go $30,000 a year for this SaaS tool? I am not buying it. We'll just assign 17 of our $350,000 a year engineers and build it in-house for 19 months. So it's a very interesting tweet. So I have over a decade experience in the software engineering industry, and this is the age-old question of build versus buy. So there is no right answer to this question. So I'm just gonna try to visualize this for you. So build versus buy. So this is, as a software engineer, whatever big companies you work at, there is a couple of things to consider, right, when you make this decision. You want to make sure that your company is in the right position to either build or buy. So one of the big factors that determines whether you should build or buy is the company size. So if you're a small startup, you kind of want to be careful about that because your resources are very limited. Build versus buy. Your resources are very, very limited. So you usually have very small team and you don't have enough engineers to work on things. Mostly you're likely to focus on building the actual products to serve to the customer for the survival of your company. So in that situation, you really don't have a choice because you don't have the resources to build something out. So one example is that I think a lot is, let's say a A/B testing platform. So if you're a startup, there is no way for you to invest in a team of A/B testing software engineers to build out a platform for your own company. It doesn't really make sense to do that. Most likely, you're going to contract it out to a company like Optimizely, that does the A/B testing for a living. They are the professionals, they are the experts, and you don't have to maintain the system yourself because you actually don't have the resources to do it. So that's why if you're a startup, you should definitely buy until you go into a certain phase. So if you are a mid-size company, so mid-size company can be anywhere between 100 to 1,000 employees. I would still say that's still mid-size or a little bit up. So this is like the tricky part. This is actually harder when you're a mid-size company because you might have the resources to do it, to build a custom solution for the company. But at the same time, you are in a pretty competitive environment because you're competing against newer startups and you're competing against mature big companies. What do you want to focus your resources on? Do you want to build out the whole A/B testing solution, or you want to buy, just pay like a little money every month, try to get the solution working to serve your customers? You do have a lot of customers now, so you do have the incentive to keep them coming back. But at the same time, a typical product person in a company was the CEO might say, hey, we want to optimize our products. We want to A/B test it so we can convert even more of our customers, right? So this is when and usually for, the likely answer for a mid-sized company, it's also to buy. The reason is, it's resourcing. You might have the resource to do it. This is a different than startups. Startups have no choice. They have to buy. But if you're a mid-sized company, you do have some resources to buy, to build out this system. But do you want to is the question, right? Like, do you want to? You can build, but do you want to? So this is the thing. Do you want to do it? Likely it's going to cost money. It's going to cost resources. And most likely you're going to dedicate some of the higher, these high-paying engineers to this project alone. So so the answer to that is it really depends on what you're building, this custom solution. and you have to get buy-in from a lot of people to do it. Now, if you're a large size company, like one of those companies in big tech, Apple, Google, Facebook, if you're that size, it makes sense to build custom solutions. Why? Because you have a ton of engineers, right? You have a ton of engineers. You got a ton of engineers. You got tons of money. You got tons of time. Why you have time? Because you are usually in the competitive mode. You're in the top of the competitive environment. So big companies like Google, who dominate search, or Facebook, who dominate social media, it's not likely for some company to come along and take over, right? So you have the time, you have the money, and you got a ton of engineers. So it makes sense to build a custom solution instead of buying. Why? Because let's say you buy a solution, custom solution that costs, $30K a year. Let's use that tweets as an example. Let's say it costs $30K a year. So it doesn't make sense if you're a large company to pay $30K a year to do something, because large companies are likely to survive for a very, very long time. So if you're paying $30,000 a year, you're going to have to pay that for over 10, 20, 30 years. And it adds up over time. So compared to investing a couple of money, let's say, you get $200K a year engineer and you dedicate 12 months to it, to build it. Sure, there's a lot of initial capital investment, but over time, this system will serve the needs of the company for a really, really long time, and you have the experts to customize it to your company's solution. So this is when it makes sense to actually build this custom system, because it's for a long-term investment rather than continue to pay this for however long your company existed will need it. So I hope this makes it clear. So it's not always true. This is true for mid to small companies, but not for big companies. Big companies don't really care about SaaS tools. They have the engineers and resources to build it. So that's why I disagree with this tweet. And if you are a small, mid-sized company, I have a link in the description of this video. You can sign up for DigitalOcean. You get $200 credits to use it for free. And instead of building your own server infrastructure, why not use DigitalOcean to host your websites and servers and whatever? That makes it really, really easy. I host all my stuff on a $5 a month server. So it's super worth it. I've been doing it for over 10 years. So I highly, highly recommend DigitalOcean. If you haven't already, click on the link below to get the $200 credit. With that said, I hope to see you guys in the next video.